Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for the 24th of August through to the 30th. And as always, it's going to be general, so if something doesn't resonate, just let it go, okay? Let's welcome in now the Archangels, Ascendant Masters, light beings, star beings, our higher selves, any other spirit guides, or perhaps some animal, ancestral, or dragon guides that you feel resonant with, Cancer. Queen of Swords, Five of Cups, the Sun, and the Seven of Cups. Queen of Swords, the Five of Cups here, Cancer. You may be feeling as though your cup, metaphorically speaking, is either half full or half empty just recently. So maybe something's happened. And you have this Queen of Swords here, which could be someone who is, excuse me, could be you, Cancer. But it could also be someone else who is compassionate, perhaps, you know, an employer, someone who's understanding, but also can make decisions, okay, the difficult decisions about things. And maybe you yourself, Cancer, have had to make a decision here of sorts that maybe has been not an easy decision to make. But there could be sort of like some grey area here, and it might be to do with your perception. You could either be perceiving the situation as difficult, or you could be perceiving it as with optimism, or with not so much optimism. Excuse my throat. Current energy is interesting. You have the Sun and the Seven of Cups. So if something's gone south, I feel like there's some other higher frequency energy here that either you're tuning into or that's coming in around your field that is shedding some light on these other things in your life here. There could also be, this high frequency could also be helping you to discern from these cups here what has been a distraction and what is going to be an alignment for you to pursue. So this could be some good that's come out of a situation that is, maybe it's sort of, yeah, it's like there's a bittersweet component to this, okay? There is, there's opportunity here still in the Five of Cups, but there's something that's, you know, caused disappointment. Maybe you've missed out on something, okay, but there's still opportunity as well here, Cancer. We're going to do a broad sweep. We're going to look at the reading layer 1, and then we'll pause and I'll look at layer 2, okay? This is the first interpretation that's coming through that we're working on at the moment. So we've got the Queen of Wands here and the Three of Wands. Three of Swords, sorry. So what you may not be aware of here, Cancer, something that's sort of underlying, is that there's a bit of a healing process, I think, that you're going through, and that it's calling for you to really, I guess, be creative, be adaptable, and to really believe in your strengths and in your abilities here to move through this healing process. That could be running alongside of this other thing that hasn't quite worked out for you, or it's that the thing that hasn't worked out that is something you're having to heal from, okay? Let's have a look at this one here. Page of Wands and the Hanged Man. Yeah, I think there's some aspect of something here, Cancer, that you are sort of either having to surrender into, maybe just going with the flow, waiting to see how things turn out. But you could also be just sort of suspending your action. But I think after that, you know, after this time of surrendering, it's almost like there's this Page of Wands here. There's a new spark of inspiration of something. And the Hanged, this is meditative here, okay? The Hanged, this is a Hanged Woman actually. A meditative energy. And maybe you're going to get inspiration from that meditation, okay? That's going to spark an idea for you here, Cancer. For something or other. The King of Swords, the Magician, Ace of Cups, and the World, Cancer. Wow. Okay. So this is kind of like a bit like an outcome. But it's going to call for you to, first of all, believe in your potential here, Cancer, that you have all of the elements at your disposal. You have lots of inner resources. You have lots of skills and knowledge. And I think whatever this Five of Cups was, this disappointment, you're going to be able to recover well from it, okay? You've got this, the Magician. And the Magician has skills in many different areas, okay? And I think this is talking about you, Cancer. The King of Swords is saying that this is either someone that's going to back you or support you, okay? You could also be saying that this is part of the outcome is going to require of you, Cancer, to activate your intellect, your communication skills, your ability to analyze, to see the big picture, but to tune into what's true for you as well, okay? To be, I guess, very clear about where you're going and what it is that you want, and being able to communicate that well, okay? But it could also be saying that you are dealing with a lot of information, and perhaps there's someone that you're associated with that is going to present you with some extra information, okay? You also have the Ace of Cups and the World. So you may not be aware of it at the moment, Cancer, but you may not feel like it, but Spirit has your back here, Ace of Cups. There's a lot of spirit connection, spiritual feeling, creativity, intuition, a lot of emotion, good feelings and emotions coming in for you, okay? And that when that happens, it's going to be sort of synonymous or simultaneously going to be giving you this feeling of like, you know, you have some freedom, you can tick your boxes in terms of responsibility, but you're also going to have some creative and spiritual freedom here, okay, to step into your authentic true self probably, okay, to really activate yourself, not just on one level, but on a lot of levels. So there's a lot of good that's going to come out of this thing, that a recent disappointment, okay, which is awesome. Let's have a look here. We'll grab some spirit guidance from our light seers tarot. Three of Pentacles, creative collaboration. You also have the Emperor, very powerful, and the Ace of Swords. This one here, Cancer, is you receiving insight, okay? Either your higher self or your inner child, or some downloads that you're getting from spirit guides, something to that effect. But also a lot of potential, like higher consciousness, okay? Also a lot of high frequency here with the Sun energy. So Spirit's saying for you to take time to tune into your higher self, because you are the creator and the orchestrator of your own life here, the Emperor. Okay, I think this is going to be a little bit like an activation for you, Cancer. Something's going to happen, or you might start to feel this coming week as though things are really activating for you in terms of moving into something that's going to give you a sense of empowerment, but also really aligning with, I guess, a purpose in the world, you know, possibly a soul purpose or something like that. Three of Pentacles, so you're going to be doing something in the community as well. So I think this is, collaborating with others, being creative. I think this is going to give you a real sense of purpose, of clarity. Yeah. Let's grab one of these here. Dragon, Tarot of the Dragons. Three of Cups. Yeah. Nice. This is a lot of joy. Also your energy, Cancer. Okay, you are cardinal water, so this is Three of Cups. This is your energy here. You can move into this, bubbly joy, which is also this high frequency sun, as well as the Page of Wands. Very inspired, motivated. Yeah, just a lot of positivity that's coming in from this initial disappointment that I think has happened. Now I'm going to pause, get another sweep, and we'll just come back with another overview and then look at the undersides of the decks as well. Okay, Cancer. So another layer that we could say to this on this, which could be similar to what we've just said. However, I think maybe there's something that's happened recently that's caused you to look at some other options with regard to something. Okay, and there's a suggestion here to go within, use your intuition, or maybe even consult astrology. Okay, look at your astrological chart, get some info on that, look at the transits, look where planets are in your sign, and look into that. Okay, if you're having, if you're undecided about, what options to pursue. The sevens are very introspective. So it could be that you are feeling, that, these higher energies that are coming in are really kind of causing you to go within, and that's okay. Okay, so you might be using your intuition to kind of tune into your spiritual self, your inner creative self, and your inner intuition, intuitive self. Okay. I also feel as though in this healing process that this particular Queen of Wands here, she looks very primal and very grounded. So I think that's also a bit of a clue for you, Cancer, to really ground yourself at this time. Go out in nature as much as you can. Also, put yourself under the sunlight as much as you can. Maybe go back to basics, really watching your nutrition, looking after yourself and doing something that, that you're passionate about. It might be one thing, okay? But yeah, that might be something that could be helpful as part of your healing process. You might feel as though things are a bit on pause at the moment. But there's going to be a spark or some inspiration that's going to come in, and I think it's going to really activate this kind of mercurial energy, which is very intellectual, analytical. You might be dealing with a lot of information. This is Gemini here, so mutable air. Okay, you also have the Magician here, which is Mercury. So yeah, very kind of airy, like a lot of head stuff. You might have to deal with, maybe paperwork, contracts, information research, a whole lot of information. But it's going to pay off in the long run, because it's going to really give you this feeling here of upliftment, support, emotional support, and the sense of freedom and being able to fulfill your responsibilities as well, which is just awesome. Yeah, and it's going to really enable you to, Spirit's also saying, act as if, if you're not feeling as though, if something has just caused you to feel disappointment, act as if the tables have turned and everything's worked out, because this is kind of what Spirit's saying here, is that everything is going to work out. And that, yes, this is sort of confirmation that your higher consciousness is probably going to be activated, but that will also mean that, I think in terms of information, you will be able to be really discerning, and you might surprise yourself as to how much information you can work through and take on and make decisions and whatever it is you need to do. Okay, I feel like there's this higher, almost a higher energy of consciousness that's going to allow you to make decisions, do the investigation, do the learning. Maybe there's some study that's going to be required, but it's going to enable you to really do what needs to be done, I think, here, Cancer. Let's look at the bottoms of the decks here. We have the Three of Pentacles again. So definitely a creative, collaborative energy. So perhaps sharing the load could be something that you could benefit from here as well, Cancer. Working in a situation where you're going to sort of in some sort of teamwork, some sort of setting where you're going to be able to do your bit and support other people to do their bit, and everyone contributes. So this could be talking about a family situation. It might be talking about work. It could be relationship, or even like a hobby or a group that you're involved with. Seven of Cups again. Yeah. So there's this theme of there are many options open to you, but being able to also be discerning. But I think using your intuition, and maybe there's some skills. We have a direct reference to astrology here in this card. So using perhaps some astrological knowledge, getting your chart done. We've already mentioned this, but yeah, really kind of availing yourself of perhaps alternative methods of looking at options. Could be something that you want to investigate. But it's also talking about the realm of the cups, okay, which is spirituality, creativity, intuition, okay? So looking at your interests in those areas, your skills in those areas, or perhaps there's a particular thing in one of those areas, or an activity, or something or other that you really like to explore, and maybe do that. Page of Wands again. So yeah, there's going to be a spark. You're going to get a spark of inspiration here, Cancer. Okay. Confirmed. All right. Page of Rods. Page of Wands. Yeah, this reading is sort of confirming itself, which is interesting. Ace of Wands. You have the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Wands here, Cancer. A lot of potential, a lot of spiritual inspiration, creativity coming in. This is higher consciousness as well. Like, this is pure fire. Wow. Well, we almost pulled the Ace of Pentacles, but we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is just perfect. This is that nurturing energy that's really going to support you through this Five of Cups phase. If you're feeling like things are, you're feeling depleted, that you're not motivated, that you're feeling like you're done, this is a case of keeping that optimism up. Queen of Pentacles is nurturing, supportive, and this is like you holding space for yourself here, Cancer. Nurturing yourself, looking after yourself, and if you're in this thing and focusing on what's not working, understanding that it's a temporary, and that probably energetically you might well be aware of what you need to do to shift that emotional frequency. If it's a bit on the low side, you're probably going to know what you need to do to up your frequency or up level that emotion. Okay, Queen of Pentacles, really nice energy for you there, Cancer, as well. So yeah, there we have it. I hope that's been helpful. I look forward to your next reading. Yeah, things are on the up and up. Okay, Cancer. So yeah, keep moving forward step by step. Okay. Look forward to your next reading. In the meantime, have a great day, a fantastic week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.